How would you like to have a ton of great coping skills so that you can have a better life? That's exactly what I want for you. I created this training because coping skills are the things that people have the least of and they need the most, but they never get them in life. Teachers don't give them to you, society doesn't give them to you, your parents don't give them to you. Most people have not had even one training on coping skills in their entire life. So let me ask you a question. How do they cope with life? Yeah, that's right, very poorly. Here's a picture of me and my good buddy JJ. As you can see from behind me, I like to read a book or two. I've read literally hundreds of books. I've done 4.5 decades of training in various areas. I've got 4+ degrees. I've taught at various universities. I've trained therapists for many years. I want to condense all this learning down and give to you in minutes what took me decades to learn. People need coping skills. It's literally a survival mechanism. And like I said earlier, you've been cheated out of these skills. So now today, I want to give them to you, and I want to give them to you for free. I love this quote by Jim Rohn. It simply states, don't wish life will get easier, wish you had more skill. As you change, life will change for you, but you gotta gain more skill. It's not that life is too hard, it's that you have a low level of skill. You gotta be constantly learning, developing, learning more, and growing and becoming more. That's how you cope with life. That's how you become successful. That's how you become healthy, wealthy, and wise. By adding to your skill bank on a regular basis. More on that later. The next thing that you need to learn, if your life is ever going to get better, is you have to learn to move beyond your old history, your old wounds. Forget about the past. I'm going to tell you something. I really want you to hear this. Yesterday is not going to get any better. They call the past the perfect preservative. You know why? Because it never changes. Nothing you can do between now and when you die, the entirety of your life, can change even 1 second of the past. Therapy, coping skills, improving your life, all these things are not about changing your past. They're about changing your future. And that's why I did this training. I want to get these skills out to people so that they can change their future. I always tell my clients, be more concerned with your future than your past. You know why? Because that's where you're going to spend the rest of your life. Every second of your life will be spent in the future, not in the past. The next thing that I want to tell you, and this is kind of an old Anthony Robbins quote, is that the past does not determine the future. It only determines the future if you're going to do the same things, repeat the same cycles, if you're going to focus on the past. Remember, you get more of whatever you focus on. So stop focusing on a past you don't want and start focusing on creating a future that you do want. The next coping skill that I want to teach you is to ask for help. The more help you have, the better you do. It's kind of like, how much weight can I lift? I don't know. I could lift up an entire car if I just had enough help. Always ask for help. Some people say, well, I'm a rugged individual and I never ask for help. I'm tougher than that. If you're so tough, why are you so weak that you can't ask for help? Smart people, wise people, strong people ask for help. The wisest people I know ask for more help than anybody I ever seen. Why? Because your success can almost be known in direct one-to-one proportion to how many people you have backing you up and helping you. Isn't that interesting? Now, I created this video because I don't know what kind of challenges you're having in life, but if you're looking for coping skills, the challenges you're having in life are on a spectrum. If they're on the higher end, you may want to grab a support group. And I'll tell you, there are so many support groups out there. They got a support group for everything. They got Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Codependence Anonymous. They've got people that had abuse issues, bad pasts, bad histories, gambling addictions, relationship issues. There's a self-help support group for everything. And wow, are they amazing. They work great. You feel fantastic. When you're about to go to a self-help group, a weird thing's going to happen. Nobody wants to go, and then the people that stay, they can't believe they waited so long to go because they absolutely positively love it, and it rapidly accelerates their progress, and they learn a ton of coping skills inside these groups. They get a ton of support, and they learn things that help them in areas of their life that the support group has nothing to do with. They take the specific skills that they're learning for one area, say like addiction, and then they use those same coping skills in every other area of their life. And they're like, how come I came in here for addiction, but every area of my life is getting better? Because you're going from the specific to the global. This is the amazing power of self-help groups. I love sharing this coping skill because it's one of the most powerful. It's literally the way that I got started. I just graduated from college and I said, boy, I just got my 4-year degree and I never want to read another book between now and when I die. So I got out of school and I went about 3 months without reading another book. Then I found one by Anthony Robbins. It was called Awaken the Giant Within. And it was a great book from cover to cover. It was about 360 pages. It was one of the thickest books I ever read out of my own volition. But I said, I'm just going to pick away at this, and I don't care if it takes me the rest of my life to read it. But I read a page, and then I learned a skill almost immediately. And I said, wow, this could really change my life. So I read another page and another page and another page. Pretty soon I was craving to get this information. So I started reading more and more and more. And I'll tell you, about a month later, I had gone through that huge book and I gained a ton of skills. And one of the skills was in that book was to start a library, get more books. And then don't just use books. Go ahead, get some tapes, get some CDs, get some MP3s, start getting some downloads, start creating a library of audio and video, handouts, books on tape, anything that you can find that would be a great resource to learn new skills in life. And the first ones I was looking for was what? Coping skills. And then I spread out from there and I learned about health and wealth and finance and all these different things, starting with gathering all these resources. And because I held on to them in electronic form, I could share them instantly with everybody just by giving them a link. And anytime I had a challenge or anytime somebody I knew had a challenge, I could go back to my files and I could find multiple resources in that area and use them for myself or share them with others. What a beautiful gift. So get out there and start looking for things through AI, through YouTube, on the internet, through books, any source that you can find that's a store of information. That way you can learn in minutes what took people a lifetime to learn on their own. This is one of the greatest coping skills I ever learned in my life. Take a screenshot of this, write this down. Every problem you will ever have in your life, somebody else has already had it, they solved it, and they wrote down the solution. Perfect. Now you just got to be good at researching this type of stuff. And with Google and with AI, it's so easy to find these things now, especially with YouTube. Type in a problem and you'll get, 1,000 different videos that you can watch. People just giving away the information. That's what I do on my YouTube site. I'm just giving this stuff away. It's a legacy piece for me. I've already made my millions. Now I want to go out and I just want to help other people. I don't care if I make a penny off my channel. My goal, how I keep score, is how many people did I help? How many lives did I save? How many lives did I impact and make better? And how many skills did I put out in the universe that other people are learning, using, benefiting from? And I love to think about this, that I teach you and then you teach somebody else and then they teach somebody else. And this gift of sharing these skills goes on and on and on. But it is a beautiful thing that if you're willing to take a few minutes and research your problem, you can now find the solution instantly. This is one of the rare times in history that you can do this. You can study it, practice these skills for a little while, and make your problems evaporate. That's amazing. I cannot imagine, I can't physically imagine how people get through life and they don't know how to use REBT. REBT stands for Rational Emotive Behavioral Therapy. This is literally the science of how you deprogram your brain for all this negative crap that's been stored in there over a lifetime. Life is tough. You get rid of all that old negative programming, and then you install the programming you want, the positive habits that you want, the positive thoughts that you want, the positive belief systems that you want. I'm telling you, this is the key skill that's going to set you free and make your life second to none. Think of it backwards too. If you don't know how to deprogram and reprogram your mind, you don't know the science of how your brain works, and you can't actually make your brain work the way you want it to, you are just going to be an individual, like 99.99% of all other individuals out there, that were programmed by dozens of other people who didn't even know they were programming you. And you're going to run that program out, and you're going to call it your life, and you're going to try really hard and really sincerely. And 95% of people are just going to completely and utterly fail. Why? Because their programming is lousy, and then that program just runs. They are not impacting it. They're not changing it, and they're not making it better, and they have no control over it. And they will fight, and they will struggle, and they will lose. And this makes me sad. This makes me cry at night. I feel horrible for these people, because you could learn REBT in about an hour and a half and have complete mental mastery just by practicing this for 1, 2, or 3 months, and your life will be transformed. How cool is that? I love this skill because it is so simple to use. It's so intuitive. It's like see, spot, run, easy. You just simply need to reduce your negative self-talk. So what's self-talk? It's really simple. It's literally the way in which you talk to yourself. I want you to do an experiment. Here's all you do. Close your eyes and try to get really, really quiet. And you're going to notice something. You can't go even 3 seconds without talking inside your head. You are constantly narrating your life and, of course, observing and narrating everybody else's life like you're a narrator in a story in the background. And you never, ever, ever shut up. And this is like 95% of what is destroying your life. Because you're going to find the bulk of what you say is negative, hurtful, a little bit of it's neutral, and almost none of it's positive. None of it's moving you in the right direction. So what you have to do is start listening to your thoughts, canceling out the negative ones and saying, no, I'm sorry, that's not right, and then replacing them with the correct thoughts, the empowering thoughts, the positive thoughts. And they're not just positive, they're accurate. Because, hey, boy, I think I want to grab a donut out of the fridge, you say to yourself. And you say, no, I don't want to have a donut that lasts 30 seconds and then an extra pound on my butt that's going to last for months or years or maybe between now and when I die. I want to look through the refrigerator and find something that tastes good, but it's healthy and helps me meet my goals. That's what I want. This is the way you have to catch yourself in what you say to yourself and then start saying the right things to yourself. This alone can radically transform your life. Now, I also have a strategy. This is a whole system for how to use self-talk. It's called the Best Friend Strategy. I'll put it in the description in the link below. You can grab it for free. That's my gift to you. And hopefully that'll make this process a little bit simpler and a little bit more intuitive for you. Here's some Zen wisdom for you. This is actually a quote from the Buddha. And this has literally transformed my life. This one simple paragraph. It's literally 3 sentences. But it's the whole of life and really the whole of psychology. So look at it with me. We are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make our world. So what does this mean in your life and how can you use it? Well, we are what we think. Those are the thoughts that you're listening to in your head that we were just talking about when we were talking about the self-talk. This monologue that goes in the background literally creates our experience of life and who we are. We are what we think. Then, all that we are arises with our thoughts. And with our thoughts, we make our world. So, you have a thought, it creates a certain feeling, a certain direction, that makes you take certain actions, and that's how you create your world. It all starts with how we're thinking. So the core of coping skills is learning how you think, how to deprogram your brain and reprogram your brain, and therefore take the actions that serve you. Instead of just running a program where probably, at least half the time, you're doing things that are working against you instead of for you. Those cancel out the positive things in your life, and you wonder why you can't get any traction and why so many bad things happen to you. You have to learn how to control you so you can steer the bus. A little more on why that quote is so powerful. Buddha literally told you the whole of psychology in 3 sentences. That's impressive. Because here's how your brain works. Look at the basic flow diagram. From left to right, you have a certain thought. Based on that thought, you have a certain feeling. And based on that feeling, you then take a certain action. So say I have a thought like somebody says something nasty to me, and my thought is, hey, he can't say that to me. And based on that, I get a certain feeling. I get really, really angry. And then based on my anger, I bop him in the nose. That's the whole flow. But what creates step 2 and step 3, which is the feelings and the action? It's the thoughts. If you can control your thoughts, you can therefore control your feelings and control your actions. And you know what that is? Everything. Everything that you are. How profound is that? And let me share one more tip with you. You ready? Oh, I love these questions. These are amazingly powerful questions, and they will completely and utterly transform your life. It's a whole mental shift in perspective and philosophy, and that becomes everything, and it extrapolates over time. I want you to learn to ask these questions. Not why or how do I have a problem? Flip it and say, why or how do I maintain the problem? Do you know that everything you have in your life is maintained? And that if you don't maintain it, it goes away. Don't maintain your health, it goes away. Don't maintain your car, it goes away. Don't maintain your relationships, they'll go away. So, don't ask yourself, why do I have these problems? Why or how am I maintaining this problem? Because if I didn't maintain it on its own after a relatively short period of time, it would go away. Next question. What do I do that causes or allows people to treat me this way? That's a great question because that's the whole of our social relationships. And when you change, whether or not you're causing people to treat you in a certain way or allowing people to treat you in a certain way, and you now demand that you be treated a certain way and only hang around with people that'll treat you a certain way, which is treat you good, right? Then you don't have these challenges anymore. And virtually all your relationship problems are solved. At least half of them, right? Next question. What could I do to make my life the way I want it? And I'll tell you, that's the ultimate question in life. It's one of the ultimate ones, right? It's in the top 10, right? What can I do if it was going to be, it's up to me, if I'm actually in charge of my life, what should I do to make my life the way I want it? That's why I tell my clients, I say, be less concerned with what your life is now than what it's going to be like a year from now, and 5 years from now, and 10 years from now. Are you moving in a positive direction? Are you flat or are you declining? As long as you're moving in a positive direction, I'll tell you, over the course of your life, you have survived it getting worse and worse and worse. You can survive it getting better and better and better. So every day, ask yourself, what could I do to make my life the way I want it? There's even a cool thing. I'll give you a bonus tip. It's called the 1% solution. If you could sit there and just kind of think, meditate, riddle to yourself, maybe do a little research on the internet and figure out a way to make your life just 1% better each day. Might take you 15, 20 minutes. But by the end of the year, that's 365%. That's more than 3.5 times better. Let's talk about money, because money's something you can count. If you could figure out how to make 1% more money every single day, by the end of the year, you would be making more than 3.5 times what you're making. If you're making $50,000 a year, all of a sudden you'd be making what? About $150,000 to $170,000 per year. Just for sitting down and thinking every single day for about 15 to 20 minutes. Wow, that's going to be the best 15 to 20 minutes you spend all day long. Hey everybody, Professor Paul here. I hope you're loving this content. Go ahead and like and subscribe so you get all our content. And this is just a slice of my coping skills training. If you like it and you want to grab yourself a copy, I'll go ahead and I'll leave a link in the description below. Say bye, Lucy. Here's a bizarre thing that people do when they come to me, and I'm a therapist, and they got all these challenges. They believe in their disorders, they believe in their bad past, they believe in their weaknesses, and they believe that the future is going to look just like the past, and they're going to completely and utterly crash. They are so focused on their failures and their weaknesses. Your brain moves in the direction of whatever you focus on. So I don't want you to focus on your weaknesses. I want you to focus on your strengths. What can I do that's positive and move me in the right direction? And this is why you need to be future focused, because I don't care about your past. It's over. And whatever you focus on, you're going to get more of. So I want you to believe that you're getting stronger and stronger every day, and your weaknesses are actually getting weaker and weaker every day. That's the way to live. Hey, welcome to my training on Obvious 101. Now, these things will seem obvious, and yet if they were obvious, you'd be doing them. And people say, oh, I know these things, Professor Paul. No. Intellectually, you know these things. You don't know them in the deepest part of yourself, because if you truly knew them in the deepest parts of yourself, you'd be doing what? Taking action on them. When somebody says they know something, I say, you know what? You probably do. I could say, what's this? And you could explain it back to me. But when I say, do you know this? Which means you show the wisdom to both intellectually know it and then take action on it, you fall flat on your face. You don't know it at all. So, first thing I want to teach you is that happiness is first a study and then a practice. Never go forward without a plan. Taking this class on coping skills is a plan. I have to learn the coping skills and then practice them. I can't just go out there and just try everything under the sun and hope something sticks. I'm going to actually learn a plan, a blueprint, and specific skills, and then I'm going to go out and I'm going to act on it. That's how you win. Now, look at these questions on the side. How to see. How do you see things? You look. How do you find things? You search, and I taught you how to do that. How to build strength. Paradoxically, you build strength by what? Not by winning over and over and over again, but by struggling, by fighting. That's why the struggle, I don't feel bad when I struggle in life. I know it's building my strength, just like I don't feel bad when I struggle at the gym. If I wasn't struggling at the gym, I'd be like, what the hell is this? Something's gone wrong. Maybe this equipment's broken. It's not working right. I'm not struggling. Something's wrong here. I'm okay with struggling. I'm not trying to avoid struggle. I know it builds my future. If you're not struggling in life, you ain't trying hard enough. How to change. Become open to change. So many people come to me as a therapist and say, I want to change. And the biggest fight is to get them to actually be open to change, to have that actually be true. They say, I want to change, and then they fight change tooth and nail. No, you want me to wave my magic wand and have change happen for you. And actually, the only block to change is you are blocking you from changing. I give them solutions, and they try to figure out how the solutions are wrong instead of figuring out how I'm right and how they could transform their life. And you know what? I have the benefit of being right. Probable reason why they're the patient and I'm the therapist. But you have to be open to change, to new ideas, to trying things different. Things aren't going to change unless you change first. Because what? You're everything. So hey, get moving, get out there. Go ahead and take some action. I want you to learn one very important thing. I want you to learn to turn your shoulds into musts. If I say, well, I should exercise or I should lose weight, yeah, you're never going to lose weight. But if you say I absolutely, positively must, like Fluffy here with a gun to your head, you absolutely, positively must lose weight, you'll lose the weight. I must get in shape, you'll do that. I must start earning $100,000 a year, you'll do that. Why? It's the gun to your head scenario. You get very few, if any, of your shoulds, but you get all of your musts. So change your shoulds into musts. And if you don't do it, I'm going to sick Fluffy on you. Now, as I leave you today, I want you to realize something, and this is so important. I want you to realize that you are greater than any problem you have. You can beat it. I'm telling you, I have worked with clients for decades, and I don't care if they're closed head injury, borderline intellectual functioning, they got drug and alcohol problems, they were raised by wolves, they're in a wheelchair with one arm missing, paraplegic. It didn't matter. If they believed that they were greater than any problem they have, if they were willing to learn the skills that I was teaching them and then practice the skills that I was teaching them, they would beat every challenge in their life. It was as simple as that. It's not, can I or can't I, solve my problems? It's, will I? Will I solve my problems? Will I be the driving force in my life? Am I going to sit life down and say, you're not in charge anymore? I'm in charge. I am going to have the life that I want, and I'm going to do everything necessary to make it happen, which means I'm going to gather the skills, I'm going to do the work, and I'm going to create the life that I want. You can't beat a person like that. There's an old quote. Write this down. A person with all their excuses removed has no alternative but to succeed. That's you. You're going to get one of two things in life. You're going to be sitting there with your pile of excuses for why you have nothing, or you're going to make it happen and have that life second to none. Make it happen. Now, here's your final thought. I believe in you. I know that you can do these things. I know that I haven't given you a single tool that you can't figure out, understand, use to make your life better. Now, if you want a huge pile of these tools, if you want to be healthy, wealthy, and wise, go ahead and check out my membership site. Join my Life Transformation Academy. I put everything in there that you need for the 3 areas of your life: health and fitness, wealth, finance, business, investing, and then the psychology, the coping skills, the communication, the parenting skills, the relationship skills. That's the wise part. You need all 3. And this is why everybody falls down in life. Well, maybe they're healthy and they're wealthy, but they're not wise. Your life is ruined. Maybe they're wealthy and wise, but they're not healthy. Yeah, your life is ruined. Maybe they're wise and healthy, but they're just broke. Yeah, your life is ruined. You need all 3. I give them to you all in one area. I kept this super cheap. Like I said very early on, I'm not here to make a lot of money. I just do this for enough money to keep the lights on and put some kibble in JJ's bowl. And that's about it. My real goal is to make sure that I keep this inexpensive and get out to as many people as humanly possible. So if you want to transform your life and you want it all literally just handed to you all in one spot, go ahead and check out my membership site. And I hope to see you in my very next training.